What is going on, everybody? It is your boy, Amon's Toxic Camel 331. Back at it with another video, and today we're doing yet another Toxic Tier List ranking. Oh yeah, and we are going to be ranking Christmas movies, and you guys might, just before we get into actually beginning the video itself, guys, you guys might be wondering where some other movies are. I didn't make this tier list. I picked another one, and I picked this one specifically because there wasn't a whole lot on here, because all the other ones had like 60+ movies, and I didn't want to do that, so, we're going to be using this one today. Also, don't forget to subscribe if you're new to the channel, because number one, it's absolutely free. Number two, we're on the road to 500 subscribers, just 71 away now. Ooh, it would really help out you boy if you did subscribe. Also, don't forget to like the video as well, because let me know that you do like my Toxic Tier List rankings, and I'll put the YouTube algorithm and recommend the video more. And if you missed my previous Toxic Tier List rankings I've done in the past, they're in a playlist on my YouTube channel as well. But with that being said, before we rank the movies, we have the tiers. So for the tiers, we have best of the best, which means they're the best Christmas movies of all time, and flawless. Great means almost flawless, like really close, but they don't reach the best of the best. Toxic goodness means they're kind of stupid on paper, but you love them either way and think they're good. Okay means it's okay, like it's a mixed bag, if you like if you like it or not. Excuse me. I don't know why. Well, I coughed a lot. I ate some peanuts, so that's why I'm coughing. Alright, anyways. Meh means it's meh. It's very mid. There's like, it's almost bad, but redeeming quality saves it. Haven't seen means I haven't seen it, so I can't really comment on it. And toxic trash means dumpster fire. The worst Christmas movies of all time. Alright, so starting off, we have Home Alone, the first Home Alone, the OG. And this one, we all know where it's going, right? No. Right into top. No, I'm just kidding. I'm not Jax or Ace, who actually hate this movie. It goes into the best of the best here. Macaulay Culkin is a great child actor, and one of the most iconic, and he delivers a great performance as Kevin in here, as a likable and charming little character. Marv and Harry are hilarious as our villains, and all the pain they go through, you kind of feel bad for them, but it's hilarious, their reactions and stuff, especially stepping on a nail, stepping on ornaments, getting their hair torched up, and burning their hand on a door. It's all around a phenomenal movie, and can't wait to watch that again this Halloween season. And not Halloween season, wrong season, Lucas. This Christmas season, and also I forgot to say, this is a very unique and original idea that hasn't been explored. Wasn't explored at that time, so yeah. And I decided to do this tier list because, Christmas time, so, it just turned Christmas time. Next up, we have Home Alone 2, a really good follow-up that is self-aware that it is a copy of the original, but it doesn't quite reach the original. I still think it's a good sequel. It's definitely the best Home Alone sequel out of the sequels. It's aware that it's a repeat of the first film. Tim Curry in here is absolutely hilarious, and that's the best part of the movie for me. He's so funny. Also the traps in here are hilarious too, because in real life, Harry and Marv would be dead. They would be definitely dead, but the traps are hilarious. The bricks is funny, and also the electrocution one was pretty funny as well. And yeah, it's all around a really good Home Alone sequel that's aware that is kind of a repeat of the first film. And it is kind of unique how they followed up this first one by this time it being in New York, so it's not really at Kevin's home. So yeah, it goes into the toxic goodness category. Next up, we have Jingle All the Way with Arnold Schwarzenegger. Get to the chopper, put the cookie down. Jingle All the Way is up there. So, the movie it's a toxic goodness movie, but it is in my top 5 favorite Christmas movies of all time. It's absolutely hilarious. Arnold Schwarzenegger is funny as Howard in our lead role. Sinbad is hilarious too. Him and Sinbad both have really good chemistry together on screen. Also, the plot line was very unique as well for the time for Christmas movies, because Arnold's trying to get a toy for his son that he can't find, and it's really funny. This also has Big Show in here too, which as one of the Santa Men Lab or whatever that's called, and the journey Howard goes on is pretty funny. So it's a toxic goodness movie. Next up, we have How the Grinch Stole Christmas, and my favorite Christmas movie. Even though Jim Carrey has stated many, 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 many times that this was a struggle, the makeup was terrible and hard to get through, this movie is utterly flawless. I don't know why this doesn't have a fresh Rotten Tomatoes score, but this movie is probably one of my favorite Jim Carrey movies. He was perfectly casted as the Grinch. The makeup was pretty good for the Grinch, even though he hated it. Max is cute in here. The CGI effects don't really hold up, but they're pretty funny, and they mend well with the movie that it was. Also, this was the kickoff to the Dr. Seuss live action universe that eventually got cut down due to Cat in the Hat, which I still like, but this movie I is super fun, and I love the How the Grinch Stole Christmas with Jim Carrey. Then we got the original How the Grinch Stole Christmas, and I will put this in toxic goodness, and I'll tell you why. The only reason I'll put it in there is because I wish it was a little bit longer, but I do understand how it's a Christmas special you gotta watch every single Christmas. The animation's pretty good, and Boris Karloff, it was a really good choice to voice the Grinch, and it's a toxic goodness movie for me. Then we got The Grinch from 2018 with Benedict Cumberbatch. This one's a little bit overhated. I never understood the overwhelming amount of hate it got. It goes right... Yeah, it's in toxic goodness, but I'm trying to find out where to put it. I'll put it here, because this is a weird one to rank. But Benedict Cumberbatch was a good choice to voice the Grinch. I like the animation, and Illumination didn't use too much fart humor for this movie, which I appreciated, because they did that mostly with Despicable Me movies. As I said, the animation was good. All the characters are pretty good, and it just doesn't reach the same level as Jim Carrey Grinch or the original. It's still a good movie, and I think it's overhated. Next up, we have the original, The Santa Claus. And The Santa Claus goes right into, work. Best of the best. Another very unique story where this guy that has the same initials as Santa Claus goes to the North Pole, and he starts to transform into Santa Claus. That's interesting. I feel like they could have done that for a horror movie. That would have been interesting. But this was a fun little movie. Tim Allen is great as Santa Claus, probably his second most iconic role besides Buzz Lightyear, and it spawned off a franchise that was pretty good too. So the original Santa Claus goes into best of the best. Now we have Santa Claus 2. And Santa Claus 2 is another good sequel. I don't think there's a bad movie in the Santa Claus franchise. This goes into toxic goodness. I think this has the second best Santa Claus villain in the series with Toy Santa. There's a bunch of lines throughout the movie that makes my dad crack up every single time when we rewatch it. And it's interesting as they also have bring on a couple new characters in the movie that are really good too, like Curtis, for example. He's one of the best characters in the Santa Claus franchise. I wish they haven't brought him back yet, which surprises me. Toy Santa, of course, is hilarious. That's what I mentioned. Also, the main girl that plays eventual Mrs. Claus is really good in here. And yeah, it's a good sequel. It's a good sequel. Now we got Mickey's Once Upon a Christmas. And Mickey's Once Upon a Christmas is a great little animated movie. I think Twice Upon a Christmas is better, but it's still a cute little animated movie that you can show your kids if they're Disney fans. All three of the stories I thought were really good. The Huey, Dewey, and Louie one was good. The Goofy and Max one's probably my favorite out of the three. And the Mickey one where he's trying to get a present for Minnie was also really good. So, yeah, if you like Disney and haven't seen this yet, definitely check it out this holiday season. Jack Frost. This is interesting because most people do not like this movie and don't even really count it as a Christmas movie. But, where do I put you? I don't think it's as bad as people say. I'll put it in the okay. It's fine. It's fine. The CGI effects don't really hold up. Michael Keaton's in here, so that's a plus for me. He's one of my favorite actors working today, so he's pretty good in the voice acting role as Jack Frost. And the father-son aspect was really good too, where he's basically dead, but he's still trying to communicate with his son, was well done. And, yeah, it's an okay movie. I kind of want to put it in Toxic Goodness, but no, wait, I'm going to switch things around. This goes into okay. That goes into okay. This goes into Toxic Goodness. That is how I'm going to arrange things. I swap things around. Santa Buddies, did I watch this one, or was it Santa Paws? I think this is the one with Christopher Lloyd in it, right? Let me know down in the comments. But, wait, am I still live? Am I still filming? I gotta see. Okay, I'm still filming. Just making sure. This I remember being actually really good. I don't remember much about it, really. I remember just Christopher Lloyd being in it as this Scrooge character and eventually becoming nice again. I'll put it in the Toxic Goodness category. But I don't remember much from it, though. Santa Claus is coming to town. The animation's still pretty freaky, but the stop motion in here, but, it's a great little animated movie. Out of the stop motion movies, I would say this is probably the best for the Christmas movies. Probably better than Rudolph, but it's very great, and it's interesting how they tell the Santa Claus story, so great. Now we got Mickey's Christmas Carol, and I thought this would be in the, whatchamacallit. I thought this would be in the Mickey's Magical Christmas thing or whatever. But Mickey's Christmas Carol, and I will put Mickey's Christmas Carol in the great tier. Out of the movies that have tried to do their own version of a Christmas Carol, this is the best one. It's a really heartwarming and Disney movie that kind of made me sad a couple of times when I watched it when I was younger. Scrooge, this is how he got introduced to the Disney universe, so it was cool to see him in here. Trying to think. All three of the ghosts are pretty good in here. You have Goofy as Bob Marley, trying to think who, Jiminy Cricket as Ghost of Christmas Past. Who is Ghost of Christmas Present? I forgot who Ghost of Christmas Present was, which that hurts, but I don't know why. And then Ghost of Christmas Future is Pete. So, yeah, it's a great Disney animated movie. Now we move on to A Charlie Brown Christmas. And out of the holiday special things for Charlie Brown, this is the best here. It's been a while since I've seen it, but I remember Snoopy being cute in it, and it had a lot of cute moments between the four friends, so it goes right into great. Been a while since I've seen it, though. Christmas Story. If you would have asked me a while back, I would actually have put it in, not Toxic Trash, but probably in Meh. But, now I'll put it into Toxic Goodness. I still know that's a hot take, but, I like it. I like it still. Jackson and Ace hate it, though. I like it. I've grown to appreciate it a little bit more. Ralphie's a charming lead. Has a lot of memorable characters and quotes throughout the movie, and you'll shoot your eye out. You'll shoot your eye out is stuck in my head always. Also, trying to think. I Triple Dog Dare You is another one that I'll remember forever. And yeah, why I put it into Toxic Goodness is because we don't have to have this on 24 hours on Christmas Day. But anyways, still a Toxic Goodness movie in my mind. It's a Wonderful Life. It's a Wonderful Life. I will admit it is great, but I probably out of the movies on here, I would revisit this one the least, probably. It's just great black and white movies. I have to really love it to rewatch it again. And this one I don't necessarily love, so I don't really rewatch it that often. Then we got Arthur Christmas. And Arthur Christmas is an underrated animated movie. If you haven't seen it, it's really good. James McAvoy's in here, and I believe he voices the main voices Arthur. Santa Claus. The Santa Claus plot's very interesting, where he is basically new to the Santa Claus role and is eventually going to become Santa Claus, and he's learning the ropes. And yeah, it's a fun animated movie. Bad Santa have not seen, and I don't think I'll be allowed to watch it anytime soon. Elf is definitely a best of the best movie too. Will Ferrell was a perfect choice to play this life-size man-child. In this movie, has a lot of memorable quotes in here and a lot of memorable moments. When he tries the fruit spray, when he eats the gum off the street, when he spins rapidly in the door thing, and the food that he always puts syrup on stuff for food to make it sweet. And yeah, it's a funny movie. I can understand why some certain people don't like it though. Then we got Four Christmases. I've always seen my parents or people in my household watch this, but I never got around to watching it. I do know the scene where the baby throws up on the chicken and Vince Vaughn's gagging or whatever, so that's the only thing I really remember about it. Frosty and the Snowman. No, not Frosty and the Snowman. Frosty the Snowman. Sorry, I had to do that. Frosty and the Snowman is a great little animated movie to watch at Christmas. I even drew it on my wall. I really do like that little animated movie that they have, and it's been a while since I've seen it again, but it was a fun time, and it's definitely a must-watch every single Christmas season. The Night Before, never seen it. Never seen it. Love Actually, never seen it. Never seen it. Miracle on 34th Street, kind of the same story with Four Christmases. I've always kind of walked in with my mom probably watching it, but I never watched it, so it goes into the haven't seen. Christmas Carol with George C. Scott. I'm surprised there's not more Christmas Carol movies on here because there's a bunch. But this Christmas Carol goes into Toxic Goodness. It's not my favorite out of the Christmas Carol movies, but it's solid. I think this one might have the best Marley, if I remember correctly. No, not the best Marley. I forgot. It's been a while since I've seen it, but it has some merit to it, but I think there's better versions of A Christmas Carol. National Lampoon's Christmas Vacation. A great Christmas movie, and it goes into the best of the best, too. I'm arranging it how I like all these. Put you above Santa Claus. Easily probably the best Lampoon's movie. Chevy Chase is great as the main dude that in the Lampoon family. Also, this has a lot of funny moments throughout. One that comes to mind is the turkey, where they eat the dry turkey anyways, even though it's dry, which is kind of gross, but it was funny. Also, the squirrel scene, that's probably my favorite scene out of the movie, where there's a squirrel in the house and scaring everybody. That's pretty funny. And, yeah. Also, is that it? Yes, that's it. It's really funny, so I like it. Polar Express, a very creepy movie. A very creepy movie. That's good. That's good. Tom Hanks actually does most of the motion capture throughout the movie, which is pretty cool. Where he plays the main kid, he plays the conductor, he plays the dude on the top of the train with the puppets and stuff, and also the Santa Claus too. So he does a lot of motion capture in here, like another movie we're about to talk about that's still creepy. Not right after this, but eventually. And yeah, it's good. And that hot chocolate is mouth-watering, and you definitely want a sip of it. Why I put it in Toxic Goodness is because, again, it's really creepy. When I was younger, the puppet scene freaked me out. And it still freaks me out, but I always fast-forward that scene when I was a kid. But I'll fast-forward it anymore, but I still think it's creepy, and very creepy Christmas animated movie. Rudolph the Red-Nosed Reindeer that I was talking about earlier. I will put it in great. I will put it below the Santa Claus is Coming to Town because I think that's a little bit better, but it's still a good animated movie. And I wish it was just a little bit longer. But otherwise, it's good. It's good. Scrooged. I've only seen it once, and it's been a while since I've seen it, but I remember it being good. I'll put it in Toxic Goodness. Muppet Christmas Carol, Toxic Goodness. It's fun to see the Muppets have their own version. Michael Caine's in here as Scrooge. And yeah, it's a fun time. I like the Muppets A Christmas Carol, but not my favorite, among my favorite Christmas movies of all time. Nightmare Before Christmas, 10 out of 10 movie. Even though it's more Halloween, it is definitely a good Christmas movie too. It goes into best of the best. Nightmare Before Christmas is flawless. I really have to settle you on it. It's great. It's phenomenal. If you haven't seen it, watch it, please. It's really good. White Christmas. Have I finished this one or not? I have to think, because I think I remember starting it a couple times, but never finishing it entirely. So, have I watched White Christmas fully? I don't think I have watched it fully. If I have, I forgot about it. So, I think, I've seen most of the movies, so that I think that counts. So it goes into it goes into best of the best. White Christmas is a classic for a reason. I'll put it there. The other movie I was talking about that is really creepy, A Christmas Carol with Jim Carrey. Jim Carrey does a lot of motion in here too. Motion picture, yeah. The stuff where they put the dots on your face and you do the face capture for most of the characters. He does it here where he plays, screw me, I just burp. He plays Scrooge, he plays the Ghost of Christmas Past, he plays the Ghost of Christmas Present, and I'm trying to think of any other people he's been, but, yeah, this movie's creepy too. Even more creepy than Polar Express. This one's actually by Disney, which is more shocking, because the animation is really creepy, and, the stuff with the, Ghost of Christmas feature is terrifying, and, yeah, it goes into Toxic Goodness tier. Don't really have any flaws with it, but it's creepy, so. I have no clue what this movie is, so I'll put I haven't seen. Christmas with the Cranks. My parents would probably put this on the great tier, but I think it's a Toxic Goodness movie. It's a fun time, but we rewatch it every single Christmas. So we will rewatch it a couple of times every single Christmas for that matter. So we watch it a lot. So I'm getting a little tired of it, but it's still a fun time. And has really funny moments. Frosty Returns. I watched this a long time ago and remembering it being an okay sequel, but it's nowhere near as great as the original Frosty the Snowman. Prancer, never seen or heard of it. The Year Without a Santa Claus, haven't seen it either. Claus, nope, haven't seen it. Is this the first or second one? I believe this is the first Christmas with the Christmas Chronicles with Kurt Russell. I remember liking this series a lot. I never watched the second one, but I liked the first one. I thought that was really good. And Kurt Russell is a good Santa Claus, so I'm glad they chose that. So yeah. And then the final one, I have no clue what this is, so I'll put it in haven't seen as well. No movies in Toxic Trash or Meh. If we had the Home Alone sequels, like 4 and Home Sweet Home Alone, they would go into Toxic Trash right here. But with that being said, guys, I hope y'all enjoyed this tier list video of Christmas movies. But before we get to the actual ending of the video itself, guys, don't forget to subscribe if you're new to the channel, because number 1, it's absolutely free. Number 2, we're on the road to 500 subscribers, just 71 away now. Who would really help out you boys if you did subscribe. It also goes for people that have much going for all and haven't subscribed yet. Don't forget to like the video as well, because let me know that you do like my toxic tier list rankings, and I'll help with the YouTube algorithm recommend the video more. If you missed my previous toxic tier list rankings I've done in the past, they're in a playlist on my YouTube channel. If you like, check that one out. Also, don't forget to ring the bell for all notifications and notification upload, because we do multiple uploads here on the channel every single day. Also, do share the video, because also, man, we got some more people join that toxic fan, and do feel free to comment your list down below. But with that being said, guys, I'll see y'all next one, everybody. Ba 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 ba. Peace.